Somewhere in a quiet farming village, police found a body with no head. Days later, they found the head in a jar. That's not even the worst part of this week. Stay to the end. Welcome to This Week in Horror, the weekly series from Horror Wedding Series, where we cover real, disturbing crimes from around the world. This week's roundup covers cases reported between July 19th and 25th, 2026, from 6 different countries, where true crime meets dark fiction, where real evil inspires gothic horror. On July 17th, in a quiet farming village in Udon Thani, villagers found the body of 35-year-old Somsak Tamwapi inside a rice field hut. His head and genitals were gone. His Achilles tendons were cut. A machete lay across his chest, and his body was dusted in a strange white powder. There was almost no blood at the scene, meaning he was likely killed somewhere else and brought here after. Neighbors say Somsak had a troubled past. Years of drug addiction, aggressive outbursts, and just weeks earlier, he'd been discharged from the hospital after being shot and stabbed by someone he never named. Days after his body was found, police arrested his neighbor, a man named Nirut. Inside Nirut's home, they say they found plastic buckets holding the missing head and genitals, and in a separate glass jar, another organ, preserved. DNA later confirmed it was Somsak's head. Nirut denies everything. He told detectives he was, quote, afraid of ghosts. His victim's aunt says the family can't even afford a funeral. At 5:40 in the morning, paramedics rushed to a yeshiva in Netanya, where they found 75-year-old Rabbi Amos Guida with severe stab wounds. He'd founded that yeshiva himself decades earlier, after leaving medical school to devote his life to Torah study. His killer was one of his own former students, a man in his 20s, believed to be mentally unstable. Witnesses say he arrived that morning wanting to pray beside his old teacher. An argument broke out. He pulled a knife and stabbed the rabbi 4 times, then fled through the streets of Netanya. Police caught him 2 hours later. During questioning, when asked why he did it, he simply pointed upward. When asked if he meant God, he nodded. Then he mimed stabbing himself in the neck. That same hour, 2 more people were killed elsewhere in Israel in unrelated attacks. One of the deadliest single mornings the country has seen in recent memory. A young girl went missing on a Saturday evening in Baruipur, West Bengal, after leaving home to buy food. By Sunday, her body was pulled from a pond near her house, packed inside a sack. Police say she was attacked by multiple men before she was killed. She was just 11 or 12 years old. When video of the recovery spread online, the anger didn't stay contained. Protesters blocked roads, burned tires, vandalized shops and railway lines. And an enraged mob beat a young man to death, believing he was responsible. He wasn't. The West Bengal chief minister later confirmed the lynched man had been innocent. Meanwhile, police arrested 4 men in connection with the actual crime. Then, in a twist that shook public trust even further, the primary suspect was shot dead by police during what they called a crime scene reconstruction, claiming he grabbed an officer's gun. His own mother, when asked about his death, said only that he got the punishment he deserved. No trial, no verdict, just bodies and a case that may never be fully explained in a courtroom. Neighbors at a boarding house in South Denpasar said they never heard a scream, never noticed a smell. Just a polite young woman, Angelica Suherman, who fed the stray cats outside her room. She'd been dating her boyfriend, a Singaporean man named Zulhelmi, for about a year. According to investigators, the killing followed an argument after he tried to end the relationship. Police say he strangled her with both hands for 10 to 15 minutes until she died, then hid her body under a carpet and stuffed toys before fleeing toward the coast. He was caught within 3 hours. Her own younger brother found her body after he couldn't reach her by phone. Forensics confirmed she'd been dead for 3 to 5 days before anyone knew. Zulhelmi had been overstaying his visa in Indonesia since late 2024. He now faces charges that could carry up to 15 years in prison. On July 4th, a 24-year-old man beat, then fatally stabbed his friend during a drinking session in Gyeongsang. As the attack happened, the victim tried calling another friend for help over video call. The killer grabbed the phone and said, quote, "Aren't I cute?" Then he ran outside completely naked, covered in blood and tattoos. He walked into a convenience store, drank a carton of milk, and wandered the streets. Security footage later showed him standing 2 meters from a police patrol car for over 25 seconds. The officers never got out. They had no idea they were looking at a murderer. He eventually went back to the crime scene, where the victim's friends held him down until police arrived. One friend later said he didn't come back out of guilt. He came back for a watch and 20 million won in cash, which he asked them to give to his own mother. He was formally arrested 3 days later. He still hasn't explained why. On March 11th, 2025, 22-year-old Airi Sato was live streaming to her followers on a Tokyo street, the same way she made her living. A 44-year-old man named Kenichi Takano had traveled nearly 100 kilometers from his home, tracking her location through her own broadcast. He approached her and stabbed her at least 55 times. Takano had discovered Sato through her streams years earlier and started sending her money, eventually more than 2.5 million yen. When she didn't pay him back, he filed a police report, then an unsuccessful lawsuit. Prosecutors said that failure built a resentment that festered for over a year. After the killing, he kept streaming, showing her body on camera, kicking her head, telling viewers, quote, "She still moves." He was sentenced to 16 years in prison. Her final broadcast, meant to connect her with strangers online, became something else entirely. Out of everything this week, the Thailand case stands apart. A killer who dismembers in a moment of rage is horrifying enough. But one who preserves a piece of his victim in a jar, days later, in his own home, that's not rage. That's something else. If stories like these get under your skin, wait until you see what they inspired. The Horror Wedding Series, Episode 2, The Mole, is streaming now. Link in the description. And the book that started it all is available on Amazon, where true crime meets dark fiction, where real evil inspires gothic horror. We'll see you next Sunday.